Hey guys, welcome back to The Mind of Brandon. Today we're going to be talking about what is presently my favorite show on television, The Walking Dead. As indicated by the title of this video, we are pondering the question, who did Negan kill? Big question of the past summer, as of the end of Season 6, going on Season 7. Spoiler alert, by the way, if you guys don't want me spoiling anything from the past seasons of The Walking Dead, or even the upcoming season of The Walking Dead, and you don't want me spoiling anything from The Walking Dead comics, well, you probably shouldn't watch this video. Okay, operating with the assumption that everyone who doesn't want anything spoiled has now left, let's get into it. So at the end of Season 6, we of course have the introduction of the newest villain in the TV show, Negan, wielding his barbed wire wrapped baseball bat, which he has named Lucille. He lines everyone up and starts doing eeny meeny miny mo to try and decide who he's going to kill. And so he starts with Rick and then moves down to Maggie, then Abraham, then Michonne, and he should have then gone to Daryl, but he doesn't do that. He instead points off this direction toward Glenn. And from there, it's pretty much just all over the place, not in proper sequence.
I watched so many times trying to figure out the angle of where everyone was and where he came. And
we knew you would.
Yeah. It's a bit impressionistic.
Yeah.
There's a bit of jumping around there.
Yeah.
Because we knew that, people would be Zaprudering it. And
as they should. There's some hints there. I'll say that.
And boy, have we been looking for those hints all summer long. I think every single character in the lineup has had some kind of death prediction video theorizing. Here's why it's going to be this character. Here's the clues. Here's why I think so. So in the comics, it is, of course, Glenn who gets Lucille. But as we've seen many times, the show typically kills characters off at different points from when they were killed off in the comics. They kind of like to switch it up. Regardless, there's still plenty of people that think it was Glenn that got Lucille at the end of Season 6 there. But if we're going off of the hints, like if we can trust the hints to help us accurately identify who it is that's getting Lucille, then it really shouldn't be Glenn.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch the tiger by his toe. If he hollers, let him go. My mother told me to pick the very best one. And you are.
Notice the shadow moving past Rick's face. I point out the shadow because Glenn's not over there and Negan is about to make his pick.
It. Anybody moves, anybody says anything, cut the boy's other eye out and feed it to his father, and then we'll start. You can breathe. You can blink. You can cry. Hell, you're all gonna be doing that.
Basically, the shadow moving past Rick's face narrows it down to these four, but we can apply the same logic to Eugene that we applied to Glenn. It can't be either the people on the ends because Negan is talking to people in both directions. So that narrows it down to these three. But Negan motioning in the direction of Carl, the boy with one eye, making a comment about cutting the boy's other eye out and then feeding it to his father, that seems to narrow it down to these two. And since Negan is telling someone to the side of the person he kills, you can cry, it should be pointed out Aaron's not crying, and neither is Rick. Sasha, on the other hand, is crying, which narrows it down to Aaron.
It. Anybody moves, anybody says anything, cut the boy's other eye out and feed it to his father, and then we'll start. You can breathe. You can blink. You can cry. Hell, you're all gonna be doing that.
So if we can trust the hints from that scene, then it really should be Aaron who got Lucille there at the end of Season 6. Just one problem. Unless this is a new character that looks incredibly like Aaron, he's apparently alive and well in our spoiler photos from Season 7. Now, it is, of course, entirely possible that they filmed fake scenes that aren't even going to be in the show, fake scenes to throw off people who would want to spoil things. It's actually been rumored that they did do some of this. It was rumored that they filmed death scenes for every single character in the lineup. And so it's possible that some of the spoiler scenes that we've been seeing from Season 7, it's possible some of those are actually fake. So characters that we think are alive and well might actually be dead, right? But that being said, if we can assume that the spoiler pics that we're seeing are not faked, right, that they do accurately reflect what's coming up in Season 7, then it does appear that Aaron is alive and well in Season 7, which means that the hints are bullshit, right? The hints are not there to help us figure out who got Lucille. The hints are there to misdirect us, to make it harder to figure out who got Lucille. Basically, you can expect some kind of contradiction if you compare the end of Season 6 to the beginning of Season 7. Some kind of continuity glitch. So basically, it could still end up being Glenn. Wouldn't make any sense with the way Season 6 ended, but we've already established that we really can't expect consistency when we compare the end of Season 6 to the beginning of Season 7. In fact, they might just totally reshoot the scene with people in completely different orders. Hell, they might even have Spencer or Father Gabriel magically show up in the lineup, and who knows, maybe it'll be Father Gabriel who gets Lucille or something. And now that that's been established, there is a new promo scene from the premiere of Season 7. It's just a few minutes of Rick and Negan having a talk. It looks like it's pretty much right after the kill scene. And there's a little bit of blood on the side of Rick's face. We don't know if that blood got there during the kill, Rick got splattered or something like that. There might be another explanation. Maybe Negan, touches this bloody bat to the side of Rick's face for whatever reason. Or maybe someone else gets blood on their hands and they touch Rick for whatever reason. I don't know. There could be a number of explanations for how the blood got on Rick's face. That said, the person that's immediately right next to Rick on the side where he got blood on his face, the person right next to him there is Maggie. So if it turns out that the blood wound up on his face during the bashing, that it's splatter that flew up on his face, well, Maggie is a good candidate. It really looks like it might be Maggie who got Lucille there. But, it also seems likely that Rick might be covered in even more blood than that if Maggie is the one that got smashed. And so it's possible that whoever it is slightly further away. The person on Maggie's other side, of course, is Abraham. Okay, so a lot of people have been thinking that Abraham is going to wind up being the one who got Lucille there at the end of Season 6. I think that's totally possible. When people were, going through the clues from Season 6, talking about, here's why I think it's going to be Abraham. They were pointing out things like, okay, Abraham has already survived his comic book counterpart. There's a scene where this girl, Denise, gets shot in the head with an arrow, goes through the back of her skull, through her eye. And, that was actually taken from the comics, but it didn't happen to Denise in the comics, it happened to Abraham. People have pointed out that Denise was looking for an orange crush, and it had to be an orange crush, right? And that is perhaps some kind of foreshadowing for what's going to happen to Abraham, who has orange hair. Maybe orange is going to get crushed, right? But yeah, interesting theory, and there might be something to it, right? Yeah, I definitely think it's pretty likely that Abraham is going to turn out to be the one that got Lucille there at the end of Season 6. But another thing that we see in that promo scene from the premiere of Season 7, we see Negan take Rick into the trailer, and the camera kind of pans down and we see the mess, the aftermath of the attack. You know, someone's head has just been completely annihilated, right? You see this like broken jaw, there's like teeth. You can't make out who it is. You don't see a body. What you do see off to the side is a blanket, right? And, you know, of course, a lot of us immediately figured, oh, that's Daryl's blanket, right? Because, you know, Daryl was wearing a blanket, you know, while he was sitting in the lineup. You know, he'd been shot. I guess they wanted to keep his body warm or something. I don't know, right? It occurred to me, well, Maggie arrived in a blanket too. She doesn't have the blanket in the lineup. It occurred to me that might have just been the blanket that she was wearing, not as like any indication necessarily that she's the one who gets Lucille, but she might have just left the blanket there. But it turns out, you know, if we look at, you know, the season finale of season 6, the blanket should actually be behind the group, not in front of them. But at the same time, we could see a continuity glitch, right? So maybe they just moved the blanket. So yeah, it might be Maggie's blanket if we have a continuity glitch here. But yeah, a lot of people are thinking that's Daryl's blanket, and so that might be an indication that Daryl is the one who gets Lucille. Now, there has been some spoiler images of Daryl on set, you know, doing scenes, but again, it's totally possible that those are fake scenes, that they only filmed those scenes to throw off people who would try to spoil what happens. But let's keep in mind that Negan might actually kill more than one person, right? It's possible he Lucille'd one person and then he shoots another person, right? Yeah, he could have killed 2 or 3 people. It has been pointed out, you know, that he took Carl's gun at the end of season 6, put it in his own belt, and if you watch the promo scene, he doesn't seem to have the gun anymore, right? So it's entirely possible all sorts of interesting shit went down prior to that promo scene, and you know what? We're just gonna have to wait a few more days and find out. Alright guys, that's it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up and share it with other people. If you're interested in watching my future videos, please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. I do videos on all sorts of different subjects, but for those of you who are interested in hearing me talk more about The Walking Dead, I'm planning on doing those videos on Wednesdays. So I hope to see you all then. Thank you for watching. Peace, and have a good one.